Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C., all the way from Philadelphia, PA, here with another amazing guest. But before we get into that, we do have to give shout outs to our sponsors, Jose Escobar with the Connected Leaders Academy. We have Patrick Rude with the Dirty Little Secret Society. That's a new one. He's also part of Rude Financial Services. We also have Julie and Noah with Breathe Capital Planning. And we also have the Co-Author Network and Ama with the Author Millionaire Academy, Daniela and Emilio Roman. If you want to know more about our sponsors and what they do and how you can get connected to anything BALM Global, you can go to www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com. A few updates here. We just had our fourth online business Mindset Mania this Saturday. It was absolutely phenomenal. The emotions were just top notch and just a roller coaster of just feelings and unity. And most of all, it was just amazing. I did a tribute to my brother, whom I lost 5 years ago to an accidental overdose. So we did a nice little memorial for him, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I want to thank all the attendees as well as the speakers who did absolutely a great job. And our theme was showing up. And when I say they showed up, they beyond showed up, and everyone just had a great testimony right after that event. Our next one is November 18th. Again, you can go to our website, buildingaleadershipmindset.com, and see all our upcoming dates, not just for that, but for our Radiance 2.0 for all our ladies, October 7th. You definitely want to tune into that one. We're going to show you another 6 ways to radiate in your life. And you can go onto the website, just check everything we have out with our tour coming up in January 2024. But enough about BALM. This podcast is all about meeting amazing individuals that are in this entrepreneurial space, just doing amazing things and changing lives. And Latoshia Ngu, she's a brand strategist and consultant, a veteran, a mom, a wife, and so much more. She helps businesses get clarity and build consistency to enhance marketing efforts. And she fuels the long-term growth. She challenges businesses owners to dare to be different in a world that is so oversaturated with content. Being uniquely you is the way to stand out. Your brand is so much more than a logo, a tagline, products and services. It's about who you really are and how you tell the world who you are and what you believe. She wants to communicate. She helps to help to communicate better, enhance their marketing messaging, and stop the guessing and what comes next. Without further ado, let's give it up for my new friend, Latoshia. How are you? Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and your
You are.
whole team and everyone in your organization.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We just recently connected. We had a virtual coffee. It was absolutely amazing. There was a great synergy, and I just knew I had to have you and your story and your journey on my show. So you are officially added to the BALM Global family here on our podcast, and you're in the top 150 episodes, which we're about to celebrate in a couple weeks or months. We don't know. We have to get those last interviews eased in.
Yeah.
But glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about who you are. What's your background? Where did you come from? And what was the journey that took you to get to where you are today?
Yeah. So I'm Latoshia Ngu. I was raised in North Charleston, South Carolina, which is just like the subset of Charleston, South Carolina. So I used to just say I'm from Charleston. Um, I joined the military when I was 20 years old. So in 2008, I joined the military, and that's what I had to do to survive. I was like, look, I need food in my belly. I need a place to stay. And the military was the best option. Lucky for me, the military taught me so many skills and so many things that are important in my life today. How I got started in brand strategy came from something that happened in the military. So oftentimes when you get new commanders or new things into organizations, it completely shifts the landscape of what's going on in the organization. And so it always changes, it's always something new. And it really, what happens is there's a breakdown, and sometimes the consistency isn't there. And so with that, along with um, asking questions when it came to around like the campaigns for like suicide and sexual assault that was heavy going on in the military, I always wanted to know why. Like, why are these things happening? And I felt like the wrong questions were being asked. So I took that and I applied it to just the everyday business. And so I started looking at mission statements and really just looking at organizational structure and seeing how things were set up. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm seeing a disconnect here. This is why a lot of people who work for the organization don't feel like they're a part of the organization, because the mission statements and the values a lot of times don't reflect something where the employees and people who work with it can see themselves in it. And so that's when I started my journey on brand strategy and making sure that people had a consistent brand that not only speaks to their customers, but also speaks to the people who work for them, because you're not going to get to your customers if you don't fulfill the people who work for you. So it's a joint effort.
Oh my goodness. Who would have known if you just take a little step and just a little investigation, a little FBI work to see what is that missing link, and to know that that was important to you? How many people just don't understand that, right? And
Mhm.
you took that on full fledged and you started creating, you started using that as your motivation and a tool to create something else, right? What was
Yeah.
the mindset and the leadership aspect that you had to have in order to go down that path?
Um, for me, the mindset was mostly, this is something that businesses need to succeed, whether they know it or not. This is what they need, and I'm going to show them why they need it, and why understanding why you do what you do, apart from making profit, why it's important for your business and how it can help you become successful and really bring cohesion into every part of your business. And I just wanted business to realize that marketing is great, advertising is great, but all that stuff stems from knowing who you are as a company. And it's easier to tell your story through marketing or advertising once you understand who you are and how you help others. And I always say create fans. So that's with your employees and your customers. Create fans. So give people something to be fired up about. And what better way to get people fired up is by them knowing your story.
Yes, absolutely. And not only that, creating fans is such a hard thing to do for some because they don't know how, right? But there's tools
Mhm.
out there, just and being your authentic self is truly the simple answer. There's people that are going to gravitate to you and there's people that are not, but when you know your messaging, you have a higher chance of increasing those numbers. And how great that there is a tool and someone that's actually looking at that vantage point and saying, hey, we need inclusion in what we do. So let's not only take care of the bottom line with our clients, but let's start at the very front of the line with those that are going to be serving for us. So I just think that is absolutely beautiful. And you did say that you did join the military at 20. What was and you said you had to feed your belly and all that good stuff, but what was the goal, the expectation, the final picture for you as you were enlisting?
I didn't have one. I was literally at the point where I was like, okay, college is getting too expensive. I can't afford this anymore. Um, I can't go back home. That's not an option. So it's like I need to do something to be able to take care of myself. And my dad was in the military and my brother was in the military. And I was like, at least what we like to say, we're gonna get 3 hots in a cot. You know you're gonna have some place to stay and you know you're gonna have some place to eat. So for me, when I joined, I was like, well, at least I'm going to have these things. And it wasn't until I actually got in and experienced my first assignment that I understood all the good things that come along with the military. And then just like any profession, it's give and take, but there are a lot of things when it comes to like leadership and professional development and international relations and things like that that you learn from the military that I otherwise wouldn't have learned without being in the military.
Wow. And what were the challenges, being a woman of color, just in the military during 2008, which was like world crashing as far as the stocks and all that stuff, and just the mentality that you just have to have? Like, what were some challenges? Were you ever faced with anything that kind of tested your beliefs, your morale, that, kind of kept you grounded?
For me, it was so my first assignment was Germany. And so while there was a lot of things going on in the US, I can say that God shielded me from a lot of that stuff by sending me to Germany. The biggest change that happened for me when I joined the military and I went to Germany was that's when I accepted Christ. Like, so he moved me from the US to Germany, and that's when I found Christ. I accepted Christ, and then my life shifted from there. Um, I can say when I first joined, I was very stubborn. I was very hard headed, which those are still parts of my personality. That's just
Thank you
part of
for
my.
your transparency.
I'm like, that's just naturally part of my personality. That stuff did not go away. God just uses it differently now. Um, and so it was really working through that and learning how to work together as a team, because before the military I was used to handling things by myself and doing things by myself and being like, I don't need nobody for nothing, I don't need to depend on nobody for nothing, like I got this. And for me, that was my biggest challenge with the military, is really like honing down and understanding that no, you do this as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. You're better when it's more like you're just a part of it to make this whole system function. And so that's the main thing that I struggle with when I joined the military, is really getting rid of that me mindset for a we mindset.
Mm, I love that. Get rid of that me mindset to a we mindset. That needs to be on a shirt somewhere, girl. You need to patent that. I love it, and you just bring up a huge, huge topic about a team and teamwork, and we see that saying as a cliche, right? And we kind of throw it around real lightly, but it's the honest truth
Yes.
about community collaboration and about not being able to live life on our own. Independently, we have our own missions and our goals, but
Mhm.
it doesn't take one person to get there. It takes a community of people. For instance, me. I started my journey as entrepreneurship in 2015. Couldn't really market myself because I was working a 70 to 80 hour shift, 70 to 80 hours a week. And then I had to like build everything myself, my websites, my branding, all of that stuff. And it didn't actually grow until I hired a coach. And I said, hey, I need some help. Like, I want to do the work, right? Like, I want to
Mhm.
empower people. I want to inspire people. And all these other things need to be, delegated. How can I do that? So I went into that space. But if it wasn't because I spoke up and looked for that in my journey, my team that I have now of 6 would not be here today, right?
So
I would
true.
probably still be wasting times on emails, on this, on that, and the other. But it's truly because of them that I have been able to come as far as I've come, and we still haven't arrived. We still have more to come. And
Mhm.
so, with you saying that about teamwork, I really love that, because a lot of people want to do it alone. A lot of people want to grab the bottom dollar by themselves, and there's enough for everyone. How do you feel
Yes.
about coaching? Do you have a coach as well?
I do have a coach. And so, which was which I thought was funny at first, because I'm like, hey, because usually, I work with companies either on a consulting or just strictly brand strategy. And so when I went in to go get a coach, I was like, I think I really need a coach at this point, but I had to go do the things of, like, looking for a coach, finding like the right fit. And then once I got a coach, it was like things unlocked in my mind. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything this way. I was like, I wonder if that's what my clients feel when they work with me. Because
They
it was just like,
absolutely do.
I was like, this is amazing. Like, I'm seeing things completely different. I'm not in my own little, in my mind bubble that I call it, where I'm like, And I'm so stuck. And then it's like, no, lift your head up, look at it from this way. And so I am a big advocate for like coaches. I'm like, if professional teams have coaches, then these professional athletes have coaches to help them get to the next step. That's what we are. That's who I am to a business. I'm just like that head coach for a team to help you get to the next step, trying to get you to the playoffs and to win the championship. That's all I'm trying to do.
That's right. Championships coming from Chicago, Illinois, and being part of that legacy of what the Chicago Bulls did, the Jordan times, and the Scottie Pippens and all that stuff. To really see that community, that family, that teamwork, which also leads me to another franchise that exemplifies that, is the Fast and Furious series as well. That's like huge for me, just going from 1 to 10 and just knowing that there is community, there's opportunity, and it's all how you nurture it and build it. But you just said it, we've been talking about teams, and even though it's just you and your coach, that's still a team, right? You and your kids, that's still a team. You and your family, everything is a team, even your friendships. And there's ways that you guys help each other in different dynamics. So I just love that concept, and that we touched base on that. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, and then we're going to talk about what you build and what and how people could get a hold of you. So we'll be right back. Give us 1 second.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JASCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Hello. We are back. That is the Empower to Inspire sneak peek of what's to come for 2024. And I just seen teamwork in there. If you've seen the vendors, just the helping out, the setting up of the DJ booth and all that stuff, it took a huge team to make that happen. And we are about to hit all 50 states starting January for that. So we're here with Latoshia, and she is just, again, she's a brand strategist and consultant. And tell us what you have built after going through this experience through the Army, doing your due diligence with knowing what the missing links are as you were reading mission statements and things like that. Tell us, like, when the light bulb went off, what exactly was that message that you received, that download, and what did you do to actually take the steps to put that into place?
Well, before I got out the military, I was kind of like helping businesses here and there, asking them questions, just trying to get a feel for the landscape and to make sure, like, I was like, I think this is right, but just to make sure when I think it's right, I'm going to do some research. And so I started helping local businesses, friends, and things that I know, and people that I know with the whole brand strategy aspect. And then I was like, okay, this works. And then I just really felt like that was what I was supposed to be doing. Like, I always tell my friends, I was like, I really think I'm called to brand strategy. Like, I feel like I'm called to help businesses in this area and really help them understand their why and their purpose. And so for me, that was like my biggest thing. I feel like when I was transitioning out, I was like, how can I help people in a way that's organic to me, where I can still be my full crazy goofy nerdy self, and and people just be like, and like you said, the people who are for you will come to you. And I was like, the only thing that I saw was me starting my own businesses and really helping other businesses survive and thrive in that space.
Yeah. So what's the name of your business?
The name of my business is Quest Business Consulting.
Oh, and share a little bit about how you came up with that name.
Yes, so I'm a big fan of stories. I love to read. And so in every book, there's a journey that the main character goes through, and it's always some type of quest, no matter if it's romance, mystery, whatever. It's a quest. It's a journey that they have to go through in order to find themselves or get to the other side of the problem that they're facing. And so that's where I got quest from, because I was like, when people enter into the relationship with us working together, it's a journey in order for them to find themselves, in order to put the tools and things in place in order for them to get to the other side of where they're at. And so that's where I came up with the name Quest Business Consulting.
That's so cool. And it just takes a few moments to just sit down in that download and say, okay, I got the idea. What is it like? You're branding right there as it's happening. It's just a instant. And then you have someone look at it. You have, you kind of get some feedback. Did you do that at all? Or did you just say, this is it and I'm going with it?
That's it. I was like, this is it. I'm going with it. And so I always tell people, like, I took myself through the process that I use with other businesses. So when I'm taking you through the process, I know it works because not only have I done it for other people, but I took myself through the exact same process. So before I even came up with my logo and everything, I did have my name was the first thing that I came up with, only because I knew I love stories. I know I'm taking people on a journey. I'm going through a quest. When it came to my logo, I chose a labyrinth because it's the same thing. When you're going through a labyrinth, you have to find your way through. You may hit a wall, turn around and find your way back through. Like, don't let that stop you. Keep moving until you get to the end. And so I just, but what made that easier is me knowing my purpose, me knowing my vision, me knowing who I am, not only as a person, but what I wanted to be as a company. And that really helps along the process when it comes to choosing your logo and choosing your tagline and things like that. Knowing who you are is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to go a little bit with timelines, because for some it takes quick action, and for some it takes longer, right? And we'll talk about the longer part in a minute, but just let us know, what was that time frame from the download to the name, logo? Like, what did that consist of?
Ooh, okay. So mine is the longer timeline. So the download happened in about 2017, but I also had my first kid in 2017, and another one in 18, and another one in 21. So even though I had this download, it was like, I'm kind of gonna sit here and be a mom and enjoy my time with my littles and do things like that. And so I had the idea in my mind. I just didn't put it to work. So about 2021, I came up with a business name, but I just like sat on that because we were in the middle of a whole lot of things. My husband's military, so we're about to PCS. It's like, okay, that's going to have to wait for a little bit. So once we got to our new assignment, which was in 2022, that's when I sat down and I actually got everything together with the name and the logo and my mission and my vision and all that stuff. I actually didn't put together until February of 2022. And then from then, I just went out and started networking, letting people get to know me, hosting classes and doing things like that so that the community could feel comfortable with me and understanding where I'm at. And my biggest thing that I like to tell people is like, it's okay if it takes forever. Like everything's not going to happen overnight. A lot of us are just the rules and not the exceptions. For some people, it does happen overnight, but for most people, it doesn't. And that's okay. You have to be okay with that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what prompted that question, because it is okay. It took me 20 years from when I first had that I want to do something, right? I want to live in my purpose. I just want to motivate, inspire people, but I didn't know how that would look. And, with the unknown, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to live like I was taught, go to school, get a degree, work, build my family, support them, and, just, do my day to day. Right. And then every so often it came back. 2015, became, a realtor. 2020 became a notary, used that as my vehicle out of my 9 to 5 that I worked for 14 years. But if I can do it all over again, even though it's as beautiful as it is right now, and I'm going to accept it, because we have no choice. I believe that this was my time, but mentally, I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. Would it have been as beautiful? Would I have been more ahead of the game? And sometimes we kind of live in that, and that stops us from progressing. So has that happened to you in this time frame? Now that you're actually getting clients, you're actually doing this and seeing their journey. When you got that first download, do you ever go back and say, wow, I should have started this back then? Or are you okay with the time frame it took?
I'm actually okay with the time frame it took, because I do believe that things happen in a certain time, and I don't necessarily think I would be able to dedicate the time and the energy that I could now into it back then. I just don't think that it would have been in my life where it was at right now, that it would have been the right time. So I feel like when I did decide to start it, that it was the right time for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the clarity was more there. The the knowing who you were, like you had to decipher, okay, I have this download. Now how do I play that role, and how do I build this out? So I'm gonna have to work on me. Maybe we need to get some more experience. We need to do our investigations. We need to do, check out all those things. So I guess my message is for those that are that had an idea or have an idea and they want to go through with it, just know that it will be in your time, but you never let go of that idea, because you can build it out slowly but surely. But if you just leave it flat and just like, okay, forget about it, like just think that you can't do it, it's heartbreaking, because so many of us tend to do that, tend to kind of get in our own way from that. So what would you suggest someone who is ready but still doesn't know what that next move looks like?
I'm glad you asked that question, because the thing that came to mind was analysis paralysis. When you think about something so long and you try to do stuff, oh, I need more education, or I need to look at this more longer. The longer you do that, they say all you have to do is be 2 steps ahead of the people that you're serving. So you're not going to get good at it or be good enough at it if you're not doing it. The things that I did with my first client versus how I do things now, there's a difference, because I've tweaked what I did. You're going to tweak as you go along. So my thing is start where you are. If you feel like you're ready, start where you are, and you'll improve over time. You'll get your systems and everything in place and figure stuff out as you get a coach also. But you'll figure all that stuff. You'll figure it all out as you go, but don't sit and waste so much time saying, oh, I need more school, or I need more this, or you have enough. I can guarantee you're probably going to be farther along than many people that you're serving. You have enough. Just start. It can be scary, but just start.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And that just goes to what happened to me. Like, I'm a walking testament of that. In 2020, when I became a notary, left my job, I did it for a year, did over 1,000 loan signings, and people were asking me, Nikki, how do you do it? Like, how how do you become a notary? And I said, okay, well, I did a template. I sent it out. I said, here, this is the course I took. These are the supplies you need. And I thought that was it, but I didn't realize what the universe and God was telling me, because he kept bringing new people saying, hey, I want to know, how do you do it from A to Z? And literally I had to stand still and say, what is the universe telling me? Like, what do I need to do with this information? And literally I got the download and said, hey, I need to build a course. I need to build an 8-session course, an hour a week, and I can share all the tools and all the experience that I had within that year. This is the topics I'm going to talk about from start to finish, build it out in 48 hours with just what I had. A year later, after graduating 19 people through this program, I have evolved it every single session, every single group, every single person. And what I love is that I get to create now and still add the value to that very first client. So I go back, like everybody gets the goods from the very beginning, right? Nobody left behind, all the newest information, everybody's going to get it. And it only took me to say, yes, okay, let me put it together. I didn't know how it was going to look like. I got some feedback, did some surveys from my clients, and they were like, okay, well, this is missing. I would like this, and just added that on there. So it's been a beautiful journey. And now I'm coaching how to be that notary coach to get yourself out of the everyday driving, the pavement and all that good stuff. So that's what it takes. And I just absolutely love everything that you're sharing. So we have Quest Consulting or Quest Business Consulting up and running, where we're working with some amazing people. Do you still face any challenges or limiting beliefs when you're helping people try to build out that brand strategy? And what are a few tips to really share your message?
Yeah. So for me, the biggest thing that I would like people to understand is that branding and marketing are two separate functions. Most people, when they think of brand, they automatically go to the visual elements, which is part of marketing, which like I said, logo, tagline, colors, things like that, which is part of marketing. And realizing that branding is internal. It's about delivering or creating a brand promise, defining your position in one statement, creating a style guide, figuring out what your customers want, creating your tone, your personality, guiding principles, internal and external. So it's really like the meat of your business that everything else flows from. And so that would be my biggest takeaway for people, is to understand the difference between brand and marketing, that they're two separate functions and one only enhances the other. They work together, but one enhances the other.
That is absolute gold. If you need to pause right here, rewind so you could write that down, definitely do that, because Latosha is just giving us some absolute gems here. It's beyond the logo. It's beyond the picture. It's beyond that flyer, that post. It is what is within, which, how do we get that story out? Like, what are some techniques that you do to kind of bring that out from someone? Are there specific questions that you ask, or things that they have to really kind of think about before they put that stamp of approval?
Yeah. Of course. One of my, like I said, one of my main questions that I love to ask is hey, what would you like? So a fun way for me to determine someone's brand personality is say, hey, if your brand was a celebrity, who would they be? How would they talk? Why would they like that? What would they wear? How would they dress? To ask, just to make it fun. But then it's also questions like, okay, so what are your goals and what are your values? What are you committed to? And what can your clients expect from you, and what can your team expect from you? So just breaking that stuff down, because if I say, hey, what are your internal and external commitments? And they're like, well, I don't know, because most people are like, well, I don't know what that means. So it's more of asking okay, so what can you promise your customers, and also what can you promise, what promises can you make to your staff and to yourself. And those are your commitments that you stand on. So if you're going to say that we're a team and no one person is greater than the team, then you need to keep telling your team that, so that they understand no one position is better than the other. It takes all of us to work together, and you really have to show that to your team and to the outside.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for everything that you've been sharing. What do you have going on? What's upcoming? How can people get a hold of you? How can people get in touch with Quest Consulting, Quest Business Consulting?
Yeah, most definitely. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Quest Business Consulting. On LinkedIn, Latoshia Ngu. And then, of course, my website is questbusinessconsulting.net. Right now, my biggest thing is conducting brand analysis, because I really want companies to understand the health and where they're at, because some people may think that they have a solid brand, but then after we conduct the brand analysis, you realize it helps you to see your gaps and where you can get stronger. So that's my big thing that I'm pushing now, is brand analysis and really helping businesses understand who they are and what they are and how they can be better. But I also offer strategy and consulting sessions along with full brand management packages.
Awesome. Awesome. And how is, when you are connected with someone and you go through their brand analysis and they're receptive and they're ready to get to work, what is your main focus on the client that keeps them engaged throughout the process?
So I just give them for the first thing that we start off is what I call is creating a mission statement that's actually going to put you on mission. And so that's where I start off at, is making sure you have this good solid mission statement, but that not only you can follow, but everybody on your team knows, because it's important for your team to know why the mission statement is beneficial to them and how their job affects that mission statement and where they fall under that mission statement. So that is usually my first thing, is to make sure that everyone is on the same playing ground. And then once we make sure everyone understands that, then we move on to guiding principles and really helping you get that good, clear, consistent message. So when you do your marketing, whether it's for a book or a podcast or a course, whatever it is, you have the right things in place, the right messaging, the right logo, the right fonts, the right colors, everything is together.
So, do you think that for those that have multiple businesses or multiple services under their business, that the brand should be across the board? Should their look be the same? Because I noticed that with my community, everything is branded purple and pink, and that is, my signature. Everything's under BALM Global. I have the world on there, like, the actual globe on all my stuff. But then I have Ladies of Leadership, which is a community. I have Empower to Inspire, which is another community. I have my coaching program. So do you think that they should have different missions, or is there a way to get a brand mission for everything?
No. So when you have the big brand, like you have BALM itself should have its one blanket mission statement of what it is. Your sub brands should have their own separate mission, because even though they fall under BALM, they're a separate entity and they have separate functions and goals. And so the mission statements for each of those should be different, even though they're under one blanket umbrella.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So you got it. Anything else? Do you have any challenges coming up, any events, or they could just go to your website, connect with you, and move forward?
Yeah, definitely. So no challenges coming up. I will be, I'm in the works of hosting a workshop to give people the basic knowledge of branding and how that can help your business. When I have a date specifically set for that, I will let you know so that you can let your community know. But for right now, it's just the brand analysis. I'm really pushing that. And that's kind of like my challenge is how fit is your brand? And so we conduct this brand analysis and we help you move forward for that. So it's a session where we sit down, help you really get where you need to go with your brand so that you can move forward and you can be successful in this world, displaying who you truly are.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Again, you've been absolutely phenomenal. I
Thank you.
am just glad I'm in community with you and that we connected and we're here highlighting your stories. So I'm going to give you the floor for for the next minute or so and just pour into our audience and whatever you want to say that's on your heart.
Okay. For me, I just want to say that like you can do this. You're stronger than you know, you are wiser than you know, and you got this. I know fears creep in, our little gremlins get in there telling us that we can't do something or we're not enough or you don't know enough or what ifs or because of your past you don't qualify. But I want you to know those gremlins are wrong. You can do this. You are enough. Your past is in the past. Look towards the future, move forward, and you got this. And always build a community of people who are going to support you and not tear you down. It's okay to cut some people out of your life. Some people don't need to be there. Some people are only there for a season. So I just want you to lift your head up, move forward, knowing that you are worthy, you are enough, you are smart, you are wise, and you can do this. And that's it.
Absolutely. I love that. And just know that just to echo that and just to put an explanation point is that every day is a new day to
Yes.
be able to create it. A
Yes.
new opportunity. When you feel like you fell yesterday, today you get yourself up and you do it. Or you call a friend or call someone that is doing what you want to do and ask them how they did it. Because I'm sure that that is just priceless and you're going to get the answers or at least the motivation and encouragement to just take a chance on you. So thank
Mhm.
you so much. You have been an absolutely amazing guest. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. Have a great day. And as I always say, make it count. Bye, everyone.